hear an ancient voice whispering from the void, and it chills my lightless heart.
G'day guys, Duckville here. We've got another replay from the TSL 3 qualifiers. This one was from the qualifying session number 5, or was it 4? I'm not really sure. Either way, we have a TvT here on Metalopolis, the coolest map in the current ladder. Although actually, that said, I haven't actually played the new ladder maps, so some of those might be pretty cool. But we will be seeing a pretty awesome TvT. I have not actually watched it, but I'm just basing that on the comments from the magnificent Plexer who put together the TSL replay thread, which is up there on Team Liquid, which I will put in the description for you to grab the replays yourself if you want. But this will be a match between two of the Euro players. We do have up here in the sort of the 9 o'clock position, we have ESC Goody from the ESC gaming team. He's from Germany. He's obviously won a lot of won a few things. He's got a bunch of silvers and that sort of thing as well. Yeah, he's definitely a good player. I think I have actually featured him before, actually, when we were looking at using mech against Protoss. I think I actually used some of his replays from that, but looks as if just for the moment he'll be starting off with quite a standard opening. So while he's doing that, we'll go check up on the other player, and we have Menace Fuzer, or we'll call him Fuzer because that's what the thing was on the replay pack, but he's a player from Finland, I believe. He's over there in Finn. And yeah, he's done a nice job. I believe he was 4th or something in the TSL number 4 Euro. I can't really remember those sorts of stats. That's for someone else to do. I need a stat man. But yeah, so he's going to be down there. So we are going to be close air positions, but sort of medium distance ground positions on Metalopolis. And this is a very cool map for many reasons. Obviously, you've got a decent amount of expansions to go to. They have nice positionings, and of course there are just these, as you can see here, these multiple routes you can take to get to your opponent. So as we can see here, one of these SCVs is scouting around, and we do have the scout that got inside for Fuzer actually got inside the base here, so he did actually scout out a little bit of what was happening there. And as we can see, this SCV will escape. He did see that one of the gas was down. He didn't see the second one though, so that might be something a little bit interesting. But as we can see here, this poor SCV from Goody went the wrong way a second time, and is now going to have no hope of getting inside to see what Fuzer is up to, because one of the Marines is already done standing out at that ramp, and he does have a second one on the way. Now, as we can see here, what is becoming very popular in pretty much any of the T matches against Protoss or Zerg, or even against, as we can see here, another Terran, getting this sort of one racks, grabbing the CC really quickly. Now the thing is that Fuzer obviously did get inside and get some intelligence on what was happening. He did actually see that second gas, my bad. He did actually get inside and see what was happening inside Goody's base. So, and as you can see here, Goody has seen nothing at all. So Goody is quite in the dark here in terms of what his opponent is going to be doing. And obviously that has sort of shown in a way in the fact that he's getting this this 1-1-1 build where you grab the factory pretty quickly, you grab the starport, and then you're pretty much protected against just about anything. But of course that means that your expansion is a lot later. Now whether if this was actually just a reaction to not scouting, or whether it was just a plan, I'm not sure. That is for Goody to know about, and not me. But he is going to be a little bit behind in economy, as we can see here, with Fuzer grabbing this orbital command. That'll be coming down pretty quickly, and he'll get some more mules rolling. And as we can see, 3 racks are up, which are going to be controlling the ground. And as we can see here, though, Goody's come along with a Hellion, and he will be able to pick off at least one. Or you would think he'd probably grab this other Marine, but it looks as if he's not up for that just yet, because he knows that up here on the cliff, although he can't see it, but he will know that some Marines will be out here ready to fend off that Hellion if it does come through. So we've got a Raven coming out, a Raven first from Goody, which is quite cool. You don't often see that. This will be an interesting one for Fuzer to see how he reacts to this starport, which would theoretically be building a Banshee, because of course close air positions on Metalopolis, what would you do? You generally want to try and use some air harass, which is quite popular, and of course the general fact in that the Banshee sort of harass at the start is quite common in TvT anyway. So we'll see what's going to happen with this Raven. I'd be quite surprised if he does get something useful out of it for the moment, but I would suspect perhaps this is just in case he actually has a Banshee coming in from Fuzer, and he'll be, of course, able to spot that. Now, the trouble is, of course, that Fuzer is not going for the Banshee, so it's not going to be worrying him too much. However, as we can see here, 2 turrets going up as the reaction to seeing that starport, pumping out something with a tech lab on it, so he's definitely going to be prepared for the Banshees that aren't actually coming, so that'll be a little bit of a detriment to his army count, but either way, he's definitely going to be quite safe. And as you can see here, SCV getting picked off at the Zelnaga Watchtower, just trying to keep watch here. Of course, you do want to try and keep control of the Zelnaga Watchtowers on this map, because they do see, as you can see here, they do see both of the gold expansions. And if you can hold that, you can just make sure that your opponent is not actually going to get a gold expansion, which would, of course, help their income. Now, we'll just have a look at what Goody is up to. He's grabbed a second factory. He's got a command center on the way. Beautiful scan there from Fuzer. He's going to be able to see that the command center is on the way. The second factory is just a little bit out of range, but he's not going to be too phased about that for the moment. We do have tank siege mode is now done. He's going to be able to move out quite safely. Taking a tank, a Raven, and a Viking down, he'll be quite safe against anything that is there. However, we do have some Hellion harass here down at the expansion of Fuzer. This is not going to go too well, I wouldn't think. Yeah, there's too many Marines out here, and they do have stim. As you can see, they are running quite fast. They have their Nikes on, and they are running around like no tomorrow. But SCVs, get back to work. This guy is pretty happy. His suit's all melted. Could you imagine being inside that SCV suit, given that it was pretty much melted all the way there by that Hellion? But either way, the harass wasn't too successful. Now, as you can see, Goody's finally got this expansion up. He's going to grab both of the gas at the expansion. Obviously, this is going to be leaning towards, I would suspect, some mech play, but we'll see what happens here. We do have a drop inside. Fuzer has come inside. His medevac is now down. The Viking did take care of that, but he has taken out a tank and a Hellion and some other units. But it looks as if Goody will just come in time with his extra units to save his base from that drop. Obviously, it wasn't going to be a killing blow, but it certainly was something that was to be careful of. And as you can see, Fuzer is using that as cover to get his third base up. So he's going to have a third base way before Goody is in a position to actually take his third base. Now, as you can see, if we have a look on the quick look on the army count, we do have Goody quite ahead. At the moment, he's oh no, he's actually behind. Sorry, I thought that was an 8-6. My bad. We do have Fuzer actually just in a slight lead there with 76 to 68 on the army tab there. And as you can see, we've got these Hellions just scouting around. Check this out. We actually have another command center going up from Fuzer. He's getting a bit greedy on that. I would think he's probably going to lose this one if these Hellions come across, which they don't. Obviously expecting that no one would actually take that fourth that quickly. So I suppose this might be a very cool play here from Fuzer if he gets that one up and gets it all protected. As we can see, the Hellions finally come across. They do have their blue flame, so they will be able to take out SCVs quite quickly. I'll tell you what they won't take out, and that is this command center. There is definitely going to be some defense. Here it is, the Marines chugging along the map, taking out the Hellion there, losing one of the Marines, unfortunately, and almost losing a second and a third, but he did get that done. We do have another drop here with the 2 medevacs coming inside and actually taking out, I believe that was a supply depot that was back there, and that one has been removed. And obviously a lot of SCVs, as we can see here. I know he just actually transferred them. Beautiful transfer there by Goody. So he's protecting his little workers, making sure they've got enough protection to make sure they don't get slammed apart by the Marines when they come around. Now, we do have these medevacs still flying around, going to be causing a little bit of trouble, I would suspect. As you can see, the third command center is up for Goody. So he's definitely feeling that he's in a safe position here. He's got a couple of tanks protecting. He's got 2 inside his base and some Marines and these groovy little auto turrets, which will provide some extra defense. Check this out. Fuzer is now grabbing this 5th base over here, or 4th expansion if you like to talk about it like that. But if he gets these up and running safely, he's going to be in the biggest eco lead you will ever see in a game of StarCraft. But I will be surprised if Goody lets this go too far, because he obviously has very little map presence at the moment, and he does not have much scouting going on at the moment, but he's certainly going to be in a great position to attack one of these extra bases if he can, but we'll see what happens. These medevacs just dropping out, these marines in a nice little line there. We're going to do a bit of a conga line here, double conga line along with these marines. They're going to be rolling along shortly. I would suspect there's going to be some sort of attempted drop around here, or perhaps he's just trying to protect that third base, which he will indeed. As you can see, these there was another drop attempted here from Fuzer. He's doing a great amount of drops there. But as we can see, the tech is starting to really build up here. We have 4 factories out, one of them with a reactor, and 3 with tech labs. So this is going to be quite a heavy mech play from Goody if he can actually get this third base up. Generally, you really want that third base to make sure that you are quite secure in your economy, because if you don't have it, gas can become a problem. But I think what Goody will do is probably move a few tanks up, leapfrog some tanks up here to do this expansion and get rid of these marines, which are providing him with a little bit of trouble. But we'll see what happens as Fuzer is now getting this orbital command up. Just to take note, guys, these are all orbital commands. There are no planetary fortresses anywhere. So he's not going to have any automated defense against these here. Goody now just coming in, spotting this space here. He's going to roast up these marines and put them down. They're going to be taken out in just a second. A little bit of micro there to make sure that the Hellions don't die. As we can see, he's not going to be able to do much else to that expansion. But as we can see, a huge drop inside the main. Lots of marines coming in here. The medevacs are going to go down. Oh, how is that medevac still alive? It is on 6 health, but the Thor will take care of that. Some tanks roll in, and the tanks will clean up the rest of these marines. Not really too much done there from Fuzer. He's lost a lot of his marines. As we can see on the actual supply count, he's down to he was sitting around 124, and now that Goody has caught up with his massive mech army, which is going to start to roll in, he's probably going to start evening that score up quite quickly. As you can see, the tanks just obliterating those marines that were sitting here, and it looks as if the Vikings, this Viking might be able to catch up. No, he's not going to be able to catch up. They're about the same speed, if I remember correctly. But the Vikings, no, it does catch up. So this medevac is going to be getting away just in time. And as you can see, check this out. The actual power of these 5 orbital commands that Fuzer has up, he's just dropped, like, how many is that? That's about 7 mules. So he's going to be roaring in his economy. As you can see on the income tab there, we actually have Fuzer currently sitting at 3k income to Goody's around about 2.8. So he is a little bit ahead, not as much as I thought he would be initially, but I would assume that's actually from some of Goody's own mules, and indeed it is. There's 6 down here at the 3rd expansion for Goody. Now, just check this out. Goody is so worried about these drop plays that are coming in. He's put turrets up everywhere. There are tanks, of course, defending. Beautiful little tank line here, making sure that nothing will be coming in from the side, and even some more turrets going in here. Now, we have another base going up from Fuzer. He is quite base happy. He's going to be getting this one up. This won't go up, sorry, and these Hellions will be able to protect this for the moment. But as we can see here, another drop coming in through the corner. I believe he did actually see that that turret line was defending the ridge there, but the medevacs have found a way in. They are quite sneaky. They're going to drop some more marines here, going to wait till these marines are all out, then he's going to stim them all. There we go, the marines running in. There is a whole gaggle of marines here. They have taken out one of the tanks. They're probably going to take out some of these other tanks, but a little bit of miss micro here. Some of these marines are actually just shooting randomly at the auto turret, which takes a long time to die, surprisingly. But that one really didn't go as well. Once again, just sort of taking out a few SUVs, taking out a couple of tanks, and that was pretty much it. But it looks as if some of these marines are still alive. He does have 2-2 on his upgrades there, and as you can see, we do actually have some more Hellions still providing a lot of damage here on the bases of the many bases of Fuzer. But finally that drop got cleaned up here. The medevac is still hanging around, just making sure the job's done, but he's probably going to need to switch around to something a little bit more direct, perhaps. Of course, the problem with playing against mech is that you never really can actually do some sort of direct attack, because if you have a look, check out this line of tanks. As we mentioned before, there are tanks everywhere. You're not going to march a marine army into this. You're going to need to do some drops perhaps at other locations, or get some more marauders. That's the only way he's going to bust through that for the moment. As you can see here, he's decided that he's actually going to go for some starports. I would not be surprised if there is a fusion what's it called, the fusion reactor thingy on the map somewhere. There it is, a fusion core coming up here. So we're going to see some BCs coming out Just also to note that the gold base has been put up here, almost completed there, just about done. And he's going to try and get that one up. It looks as if he's going to use the cover of these Marines to try and get some of these more bases up. As you can see, up in the 12 o'clock position, we actually have some more Marines just coming along to make sure that this base is defended. I would not think this one is going to do too well in terms of actually staying up and staying as a base, because it's not really going to take too much for Goody just to come across and be able to just smash through that expansion. Now the problem for Goody at the moment is he is going to fall so far behind in his economy that it is just going to be a lot of trouble, even with this very, very heavy mech play. And as you can see, he's got a few more factories up and running. He's got a total of, I think that's around about a total of 6 now. He's got another command center going up here. He's going to try and probably go across to that 4th base. Hellions come along here. The Marines are not going to be able to push too hard against this. There are the siege tanks at the back, which are nicely positioned in a line here. They're going to get rid of the rest of those, and the Thor trying to do what it can against the medevacs that were floating away there. So a little bit of a loss there for both players, losing a lot of those Marines that were grouped up here. That was a huge, huge group of Marines there. But the tanks also weren't able to cover as well as they thought they would be able to. Lost a lot of the Hellions that he did have out. But luckily for Goody, Hellions are cheap. You can buy them at on sale. They are quite cheap. So he's obviously going to be able to replace those quite quickly, especially considering he does have these extra factories just down here pumping out Hellions constantly. So we'll see what is going to happen here. We do have a little bit of a tank push here. Just 2 tanks and a Thor. Not really going to be too problematic for Fuzer to clean this up. This is quite interesting that Fuzer is actually up here cleaning up at what is essentially Goody's corner of the map. It's really getting a bit interesting here. We do have this mech pushing it into the gold expansion here. The Hellions roasting up the Marines on the side. The tanks cleaning up what is left over. And once again, a Thor. One Thor just nicely positioned to try and take out some of these medevacs if he can. But as you can see, battle cruisers are starting to be produced here. We have 6 battle cruisers in total. There's the starport obviously back at his main base, and he does have ship weapons level 2. It's not often I actually get to say that, considering no one ever gets very heavy air in this matchup, but he's getting it, and it will be on the way. He's got the plating for ships as well. Just to clarify, these are not boats we're talking about. He's not going to be bringing in some boats into the map, but he's going to be having great upgrades on those battle cruisers once they do pop out. Now, one thing you will notice for the moment is that Fuzer is just sticking with this mass marine play here. If you have a quick look up at the income tab there, at the actual income, we do have Fuzer currently sitting on 5k minerals. He's just that far ahead because he's been on these 5 bases for a long time, and now obviously this 6 base as well, that he's just been in this massive eco lead here. The Hellions doing their best to try and take out these Marines. They have done a great job of just roaring through all of those Marines and finally getting to push inside, but they're going to notice there is a lot of trouble here. Battle cruisers have come out here. They have finally been pushed out from Fuzer, and he's going to have a 6-1, which will probably join up with the rest of the fleet shortly. But it looks as if he will have to get rid of this gold base because these tanks have just been way too much for him to deal with. Now the problem for Goody is that he really does not have too much to deal with these battle cruisers. Of course, he does have turrets all over the shop, and he is trying to put up some more now, but it's just going to be a little bit too late, I would suspect. There's just really nothing you can do once there's a whole big group of these battle cruisers, despite how slow they are. And they probably do have Yamato cannon up. They don't have enough energy just yet, but they will still be able to do a great deal of damage against these Thors. Let's look at the health tabs there. Nice little bit of micro from Fuzer to micro away one of those battle cruisers that was damaged, and it looks as if he's getting close to losing one of the other ones as well. But if we have a quick look down here, siege tanks making short work of this base down here. They're trying to do what they can. We have these 6 tanks which are pushed in, taking a nice position on this base. The battle cruiser is still hovering over them, trying to take it out. Fusion core is going to be in jeopardy if Goody can push in here, but I doubt he will be able to. He's got bigger fish to fry. As we can see, the battle cruiser is still mowing through this base here, taking out a lot of the turrets. 1 left over. The Vikings are going to have to be very careful here. Some supreme micro from Goody. If he can keep that up, he may be able to do some more damage here on these battle cruisers, but I would suspect he's not going to be able to do enough. And as we can see here, some more battle cruisers have been pumped out, and there's more on the way. So Goody is going to be in a lot of trouble once these battle cruisers hit critical mass. And essentially, given their upgrades, they're already at critical mass. They are doing a whole heap of damage, 8 to ground with, and that is a whole, that's 8 to air, I mean, 88, ATA, my bad, I can't read today. And as you can see, we have the 10 damage to ground, so he's doing a whole heap of damage with all these battle cruisers. The only possible thing that might mess with this makeup is some good Viking micro and some Thors on the ground, providing a lot of that area of effect damage at that area. But some micro on that Yamato cannon going off there, taking out a lot of those Vikings. The Thors, this is going to be coming to a head quite shortly, I would think. Although if you have a quick look, Goody has quite a lot of Vikings out. These obviously have far superior range to the battle cruisers, and he may be able to take out the rest of these battle cruisers. And if so, that could give him some breathing room to get some more Vikings out, and then of course be able to dominate the tech that that Fuzer does have. Now, as you can see, those Vikings did do their job there quite nicely. Fuzer sitting on 10k minerals and 4.5k gas, so he is in a phenomenal position here. Goody doing a much better job with his economy. However, of course, he's not in the sort of economy position that Fuzer is at the moment. Vikings coming through, taking out the last of the battle cruisers. Although there are 2 on the way to do some harassment, they are being sneaky and going just across the side there. Although I think he may be just checking for any bases that Goody might have. Now, of course, Goody has not expanded over here just yet. Got a bunch of command centers just sitting around idly doing not too much. But as you can see, he is a little bit busy at the moment. He's just sort of making sure he's disposing of any medevacs that are left over. The siege tanks are trying to lay waste to the mules, the SCVs, anything that is sitting here on these gold minerals. But essentially these mules have done their job, given that Fuzer is able to pump out like 50 billion mules at once. Given all these orbital commands he has, he's going to be able just to storm through these gold minerals, which he has done now. As you can see, this is essentially done. Now, Fuzer has switched right back into his heavy marine play. As you can see, we have a grand total of 90 marines on the map. These are not all grouped up just yet, but it looks as if he's going to try and run in here a little bit of bit by bit style. He's bringing in his SCVs, the Vikings sitting up the top providing air cover, and it looks as if the tanks might be able to reign supreme here, taking out a lot of these marines here. The marine count has been reduced to 52, although there are still a whole heap coming out. Goody says GG, so he's had enough. And of course, as you can see here on the map, Fuzer, whilst taking out that middle base, is just taking his own bases up here in the corner. So fantastic, really amazing eco game there from Fuzer. Just he's not afraid to chuck down a few command centers where he can, takes the risk, and it obviously paid off quite well there, getting a whole heap of battle cruisers out, providing a lot of damage against the mech army from Goody, and so he's just obliterated him right there, marching through everything with the battle cruisers initially, and then switching right back into the Marines, which of course do a lot of damage, especially given they had full upgrades. So great job there from Fuzer. I hope you guys liked that one. We'll probably do maybe 1 or 2 more games from the TSL if I can find some cool ones, but I hope you guys liked that one. Leave some comments, make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell everyone in the family and your dog. But stay tuned, we'll have some more coming up shortly. Cheers.